So I just completed an MSC cruise, and for the first time ever, I stayed in a dedicated luxury suites area on board known as the MSC Yacht Club, which is a ship within a ship concept that only suites guests get access to. And in this video, I'm going to give you a review of my entire experience. Over the past 4 years since I started cruising as a passenger, I've taken over 60 cruises, which is absolutely insane to me to think that I've taken so many in such a short time. However, when it comes to the Mediterranean Shipping Company, aka MSC, I've sailed with them on 5 separate occasions on 3 different cruise ships between the United States and Europe prior to my MSC Yacht Club experience. And I do have to say, before we get into any of this, my Yacht Club experience was unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Now, this would be my first time ever staying in a suite on a normal cruise ship, but I did hear from the grapevine that the MSC Yacht Club is without a doubt one of the best options as far as suites on any cruise ship. So when MSC Cruises reached out to me to check out the MSC Yacht Club, you can't blame me, it was kind of hard to say no. Now, the ship that I'd be sailing on for this experience would be the MSC Seashore. It originally launched and began operation in November of 2021. Part of the Evo class, it holds 5,600 passengers at full capacity, has 20 decks, 9 restaurants, 20 bars and lounges on board, 6 pools, and of course, the luxurious, the private, the elegant MSC Yacht Club. But we'll get to that soon. As far as my cruise, it would be a week-long sailing to the Bahamas and Mexico out of Port Canaveral, Florida, complete with 3 stops, calls, or destinations, and 2 relaxing sea days. On the first day of my cruise, or embarkation day, I would have to make the commute, the drive from my home in Tampa, Florida to Port Canaveral, Florida, which would be a 2-hour and some change drive. Once I arrived there, my ship, the MSC Seashore, would be at Terminal 10. I'd have my wife drop me off, and thankfully, because I was staying in the MSC Yacht Club, I would have something known as Fast Track. Basically, this means I get priority boarding, and my boarding time would be earlier than, let's say, the general population on board, around 1:30 p.m. Now, of course, due to the fact that I was a suites guest staying in the MSC Yacht Club, just outside of the terminal, before you do anything, there is a dedicated MSC Yacht Club check-in and baggage drop-off area to, of course, expedite your boarding process and make things as seamless as possible. However, full disclosure, I did personally make the mistake of dropping my bag off initially in the general bag drop-off area. However, as soon as I got checked in, the staff over at the port went out of their way to go find my bag so they can get it on board as soon as possible, which I thought was really cool and a nice touch. After my initial check-in process downstairs, I would then be escorted directly into the terminal, which was definitely a unique experience. It brings back memories for me because honestly, I haven't been escorted anywhere too often in my life. The last time I believe I was escorted was maybe 8 or 9 years ago, back when I was an international tour manager for the Harlem Globetrotters. When we were doing our UK run, I had a personal bodyguard, a 6'5" big buff dude named Remy. Remy, if you're watching these videos, shout out to you. But it was cool. We would then be taken to a private MSC Yacht Club area, complete with all types of refreshments, waters, and snacks. From there, I would get my golden key card, as well as my dedicated MSC wristband. From there, I would then be handed off to my 24-hour butler. It was a very nice, well-dressed man, and I have to admit, as I was getting ready to be boarded onto the ship, the white gloves that he was wearing was definitely the icing on the cake. It was such a cool experience. As soon as I stepped foot on board the MSC Seashore, I was immediately escorted to my muster station to check in. Yes, believe it or not, regardless if you're staying in any type of cabin or suite on board a cruise ship, it is required by maritime law for you to check into your muster station and know where to go in the event of an emergency. However, once I got over there, it was a very quick and seamless process. I didn't even have to lift a finger either, because as soon as we got over to the muster station, my butler took my key card and checked in for me. And once we started heading up to the MSC Yacht Club, I still wasn't allowed to touch anything, even the elevator button. It was only until I begged the butler to let me try out my very cool gadget, which was the MSC Yacht Club exclusive official wristband. You see, yes, with MSC, there is a wristband that you can purchase even if you are a regular guest, but as an exclusive MSC Yacht Club guest, the MSC Yacht Club wristband will allow you a pretty cool privilege. Aside from you being being able to seamlessly get into your cabin or suite, make any purchases if you need to. If you have the MSC Yacht Club wristband, you can just simply tap it under the destination elevator, which the design of those elevators are made to make it somewhat quicker to get around the ship. However, you then get priority as an MSC Yacht Club guest to make the elevator go a little bit faster. On the elevators on the MSC Seashore, it does show the amount of time it's going to take, at least an estimate. Let's say it takes 1 minute. The minute I tap my wristband, it could go from a minute to simply 10 seconds because I am being prioritized. It's a very cool feature. Once I arrived just outside of the MSC Yacht Club, towards the upper, forward, or front part of the ship, I'll be honest with you, I began to get a little tiny bit nervous because I had never experienced something like this before. I didn't know what to expect. I also didn't know if I'd be accepted into the pack. Would I fit in? However, all those fears would soon start to disappear because as soon as I walked in, I was immediately immersed in luxury. Inside the MSC Yacht Club, you have private areas, a private dedicated MSC Yacht Club concierge service, a lounge, a dedicated restaurant, and an MSC Yacht Club pool deck, all of which I will go over in further detail soon. Now, once I arrived over to my suite, the first thing that I noticed was that my luggage bag had arrived before I did. And if you've been on a cruise, you know how good that feels. But I will be staying in Deluxe Suite 18001 in the most forward part of the ship. My cabin would be 269 square feet, complete with a king-size bed, interactive TV, 2 large closets, a minibar that you have full access to, an 86 square feet balcony, and of course a large bathroom and shower. Of course, aside from you getting a large, spacious room, complete with a very comfortable bed that honestly I didn't want to get out of, you're probably wondering what other perks come with staying in the MSC Yacht Club. Well, you get your 24-hour butler that will both unpack and pack all of your things, all of your luggage for you, which to me, I thoroughly enjoyed. I've never had that happen before. Very, very nice touch. You also get premium Wi-Fi. You get premium drinks while you're there. 24-hour room service, exclusive MSC Yacht Club robes, free unlimited access to the thermal suite, a bottle of champagne, snacks, and personal invites to MSC Yacht Club exclusive events, just to name a few things. Once I left my room, I did have to explore, of course, the entire MSC Yacht Club, but the first thing I did was go down to concierge service and personally book all of my dinners and spa reservations. From there, I thought I'd get some sun and check out the pool deck. By the way, they do have, of course, a private elevator dedicated to people staying in the MSC Yacht Club from decks 16 through 20. The pool deck was, of course, absolutely beautiful. You had a dedicated MSC Yacht Club pool, hot tub, lounge chairs, day beds, cabanas, a private bar, a grill that serves breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snacks. Honestly, this was one of the first times ever that I've been on a cruise and I spent a lot of time in one area. I didn't really want to leave. Most of you know that I'm usually running around the ship through all hours of the day and night, but most of the time I was over there at the MSC Yacht Club pool deck. When it came down to the MSC Yacht Club events, they did have a private white party, and I was surprised to see how many guests that were staying in these suites were actually up and about and partying and shaking a tail feather. That was a pretty cool experience for me. There is also an event known as high tea. Apparently it's one of the most popular things to do for any of the suites guests staying in the MSC Yacht Club, where during the early evening hours you get to have a nice relaxing tea event where they have all types of snacks and people can just hang out. Something that I honestly wasn't looking forward to too much because I'm not a heavy tea drinker, but it was something that was memorable and something I'll be looking forward to if I stay in the MSC Yacht Club again, and trust me, I do plan to. The MSC Yacht Club lounge was definitely a favorite amongst all of the guests staying in the MSC Yacht Club, and for obvious reasons, I could see why. I believe that area was probably the biggest example and signal that you were in somewhere bigger and better, a luxurious place. They would have a pianist coming out there every now and then and playing very beautiful music. There was a dedicated bar. The service there was beyond exceptional. And right upstairs, you had the MSC Yacht Club restaurant. It was so convenient. You didn't have to make a reservation or anything. You can go get some good food by just simply walking in, sitting down, eating, and then after that you can go do whatever you wanted to do. I went there a couple times while I was on board. In case you were wondering, I would also dine at 3 other specialty dining restaurants on board, that of which being the Butcher's Cut, which is a steakhouse. You have the Kaido Tappanyaki, an interactive experience where you are entertained by the chef as they cook food for you. I also went to Ocean Cay, the seafood restaurant. Now, full transparency, many of you know that whenever I make my reviews, I try to be as straightforward, honest, and unbiased as possible, in what I like to call a casual, professional kind of way. I'm not a big foodie, however, I understand the food category is very important to all of you fine folk out there. I have been critical about food on many different cruise ships and many different lines, MSC being included in that, but I do have to admit, even though I've been critical about MSC, they are definitely making some changes and upgrades in the food category, at least at the specialty dining restaurants that I enjoyed when I was on board, to the point that where if I had more days, I wouldn't mind going back to these restaurants again. Anyway, moving on to my first port of call, my destination, which was MSC's private $200 million island in the Bahamas, Ocean Cay. Of course, being an MSC Yacht Club guest, I do get priority disembarkation. In this particular case, I get to be escorted off of the ship pretty much before the regular guests get off. And when we get there, we have a private, dedicated MSC Yacht Club golf cart that will take us to a private area. Yes, we can enjoy the rest of the island, but there is something known as the Ocean Cay Ocean House, a dedicated area for MSC Yacht Club guests. The private dedicated area was absolutely gorgeous. A nice quiet beach for you to relax on, plenty of lounge chairs and cabanas, to the point to where you never have to fight over them. The wait staff was some of the fastest and professional I had ever seen. I had a drink in my hand, and the minute it even looked like it was starting to run low, they would come and ask me if I wanted another one, or they would just straight up bring me another drink. The Ocean House had nice air conditioning. You can hang out in there. There's plenty of seating areas. There's even some more cabanas on the other side of the Ocean House dedicated MSC Yacht Club area if you wanted a little bit more privacy and enjoy the breathtaking views. By the way, something else that was very nice that honestly I haven't seen really any other cruise line do was that we stayed at MSC's private island Ocean Cay for 2 days. So theoretically, what you could do, and this is what I did, I spent the first day at the MSC Yacht Club private beach area, Ocean House, and then the second day I spent it in the more so public areas. That way I could get a taste and fully enjoy and experience the entire island. As far as the other ports of calls or destinations, we did stop in Costa Maya. I am 50-50 with Costa Maya personally. Sometimes I get off and enjoy, sometimes I stayed on. I got off for about an hour, got a drink, hung out with some friends, and came right back on. But when I got to Cozumel, as many of you know, that's one of my favorite places on earth. MSC did hook me up with an exclusive private MSC Yacht Club excursion where I got a private boat out over in the water, and I was able to do some snorkeling with, again, myself. It was just me and the group. It was a really cool experience and something that I had never done before. I'm not a big excursion guy either. However, this is something I legitimately and genuinely had fun doing. When it came to the production shows in the theater, it was nice seeing as I didn't have to ever wait in the line. All I had to do was flash my MSC Yacht Club wristband and I just walked right in. And once I got inside the theater, there was dedicated MSC Yacht Club seating. That way I could just sit back, relax, and enjoy every single show every night that was there available. Now, if I ever wanted a change of scenery but still have some privacy, there is an area on board known as the Top 19 Solarium. This is an exclusive area that technically any guest could go to, however they do have to purchase it. But seeing that I am an MSC Yacht Club guest, I get to go included with my stay in my suite. I could just walk in whenever I see fit and come and go whenever I please. I did also get a chance to check out the spa and thermal suite on board. I got a massage, had some knots that I had to get rubbed out. But as far as the thermal suite, it is included every day of your cruise as a MSC Yacht Club Suites guest. I even went to the gym every single morning without fail. If you've been on a cruise, you know how difficult that is to do. However, I didn't want to conclude my cruise with that typical extra 5 pounds that you gain during your cruise. However, if you guys don't mind going off the ship with a nice 5-pound food baby, that is your prerogative. I was also able to check out the Pirates Cove Aqua Park. There, the kid in me kind of came out, went on some water slides, and I checked out the arcade on board too. They have some really cool virtual reality rides that honestly I couldn't stay away from, and I thoroughly enjoyed. Of course, even though I was staying in the MSC Yacht Club, I had to come hang out with the common folk, the regular guests, or as what a lot of the MSC Yacht Club suites guests would joke and say, it was Gen Pop, the general population. Of course, I went to the parties, the public white party. I danced a little bit. You guys know I like to hang out, have a good time, shake a tail feather every now and then. They also have the silent disco, which is always interesting. Surprisingly, I'm not a big fan of silent discos, but the DJ on the MSC Seashore was killing it. Everybody was there having a good time, but I also like to take my headphones off and watch because it sounds like, or it looks like rather, everybody's out there kind of dancing to no music. Really cool experience. I was also at Le Cabaret Rouge every single night. There they had shows, they had karaoke. Shout out to EECC Travels, by the way. Jason was absolutely killing it, good times. And then of course in the later evening hours they have the nightclub where people can go out, have a good time, and end their evenings the right way if they are party people. When the cruise had concluded, I gotta admit, it's very rare, but it was a very bittersweet moment for me. Normally when the cruise has concluded, especially a cruise that's anywhere between 5 to 7 days, that's personally for me my sweet spot. I'm more than ready to get off, and I have accepted the fact that the cruise has concluded because normally I am running around all over the place. I barely sleep, I'm being social, I'm doing a lot of work. But for this experience, I enjoyed the MSC Yacht Club so much that I didn't want to disembark from the beginning. I had priority embarkation, got on quick, and even priority disembarkation, I got off before I could even say MSC Yacht Club. And I enjoyed it to the point to where I was shocked at myself. I didn't want to leave the MSC Yacht Club area, and that's very rare. Normally I'm out and about being social and hanging out, but between the overall experience of the MSC Yacht Club and the people that I even met, some of which even being subscribers, I was very surprised at that. It was something that I wanted to get the most out of. This video was hard for me to review because I didn't exactly have other things to compare it to. I've never stayed in a ship within a ship product with any other line, and honestly, I was too busy having such a good time. The staff was professional, and in my opinion, everything was done right. It's definitely an option and something that I would love to do again as soon as possible. If I learned anything throughout that entire experience, MSC Yacht Club is 100% the bomb. I can't wait to go back, like I said. But I also learned that it's not just for fancy people. I expected everybody to be running around in the nicest suits possible, basically a more modern version of how people would dress for the Titanic. But I would say it's kind of like a chic kind of vibe, basically meaning like people are dressed up, but it's a little bit more casual, to the equivalent of what maybe I'm wearing right here before you, just a nice little button up. And yes, of course, you can dress up if you want to, but nobody there is judgmental at all. Everybody understands that everybody's on vacation, and yeah, at certain times, maybe at dinner and special events, you want to look the part, but anything in between, just dress nice or dress how you feel and enjoy yourself. I was surprised myself with this experience because I thought that everybody there was going to be dressed to the nine 24/7, and honestly, seeing as they were suites guests within the MSC Yacht Club, they were going to be just a little uppity because I have experienced this on other cruise ships with other suites guests here and there, unfortunately. However, there were normal people there. Why? Because the MSC Yacht Club is for everyone. Once again, just to make it crystal clear, I understand it's called the MSC Yacht Club. However, that does not mean the MSC Yacht Club is exclusive to the rich, wealthy, or famous. Anybody can indulge and experience the privacy, the luxury, the ambiance of the MSC Yacht Club. Myself, any of you fine folk, anybody. All you have to do is go to MSC Cruises' official website, and who knows, you may find the perfect deal to the MSC Yacht Club that fits perfectly within your budget. Now, one more thing, as we wrap up here in this video, there is one more thing that I want to clear up. Yes, MSC Cruises did invite me to check out the MSC Yacht Club. This is why at the beginning of the video, I believe maybe on the upper right side somewhere you saw ad or promotion. It's because I'm legally obligated to disclose that information to you. However, I guess what I'm trying to say is all of the thoughts and opinions I expressed in this video are 100% my own. I genuinely had a good time and I hope I can do it again someday. Anyway, this is my video of my time on board the MSC Seashore, indulging in the MSC Yacht Club. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, especially if you've experienced the MSC Yacht Club before. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this video or got any type of value out of it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and know as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you later. Take it easy.